You can't keep a good metal down, at least not for long. I've been waiting for another price smash on silver, thinking that COMEX and LBMA are not going to give up as easily as they have. I mean, they've done some significant damage in the last month, but they certainly haven't broken sentiment in the metals markets. I mean, people still talking about new all-time highs in the metals and in the mining stocks. So excitement is still very high in this sector, and we can see it here in the price action. What I wanted to look at, we're going to look at several time frames here of both silver and gold. Here in the daily time frame, let's notice that today this is a new buy signal in silver. That's we can see the green. You can see the little green histogram, which indicates that the MACD signal line has moved above the moving average. So new buy signal, MACD in silver. I also like that we've gotten a big pullback in MACD down to the zero line, and so here we are getting a new buy signal at the zero line essentially, and everything above the zero line is bull mode, suggesting that the trend is upwards, bull mode, upwards trend. And then in stochastics, my measurement of energy, here we are again, back at super elevated energy. We can see in stochastics that we had, 3 weeks, 4 weeks of low energy as silver was consolidating, big price drop and then the consolidation. So anyway, I like that action in MACD and silver. Now we have to acknowledge if we look at the moving averages on silver or gold, either one, they're horribly overbought in all time scales. That has not changed. And so it would really be nice to see a bigger pullback in the metals, but I'm not confident that we're going to see that. And the scenarios where I think we might see lower metal prices all involve manipulation. For example, America decides that they're not going to bomb 3 different sovereign nations in the coming weeks, and we get a big relief rally as people go back into risk on mode. So risk off geopolitically, risk on financially, and we get, potentially could get big rally in the stock market, and the metals would soften because, any price in the metals right now that is related to fear of war, typically gold reacts to that, not silver. But anyway, that's a risk I see, is that our fearless leader could play games geopolitically that would feed into the financial markets. But anyway, I did dabble back into the mining stocks yesterday, and we'll get to the mining stocks here in a minute. So, and I'd been waiting again. I've been expecting another price smash, and yesterday I stopped waiting. I nibbled at the mining stocks. Let's continue. So, here's silver and gold in the weekly time frame. Again, we've got 10-week and 40-week moving averages. Price is just horribly overbought based on the moving averages, based on MACD, based on RSI. The metals, the metals are just tremendously overbought. And the only way, I was thinking about this weekend, the only way that this can be okay is, and this is my thinking, the only way this kind of price action can be okay is if the metals are being repriced, meaning this isn't a typical traditional price rally where gold and silver are going to go make new all-time highs, and then they're going to drop back down into the dirt and wallow for years. That's not what I think is going on right now. I suspect that the metals, actually a number of the commodities, are being repriced for a new financial regime, environment, and that's at a global level. That significant changes, in my opinion, financially at the global level. Monthly time frame, horribly overbought. Quarterly time frame, horribly overbought. All RSI, MACD, price action, just we're terribly overbought. And I bought some mining stocks yesterday. So one of the games, one of the ways that financial markets are manipulated is strengthen the dollar. And so, if they wanted to take another whack at the metals, one of the ways they might do that is by encouraging a rally in the U.S. dollar. But if we look at the U.S. dollar, we're in the weekly time frame here. Notice this, we've got this upward trending price channel that goes all the way back to, that was 2006. It's 2006. So the great financial crisis right in there. And then the dollar is, in a broad upward movement. But here's the key. Notice that the dollar has broken below the bottom of that trend line and done so decisively. And notice in particular that the dollar broke below that level, came back up and tested it from below as resistance. That test failed and the dollar, dropped lower. And so anyway, to my eye, the U.S. dollar is in a serious downtrend. Again, weekly time frame. We've looked at this chart before. This is my comparison of the mining stock sector to the broad market. And what I'm looking for, and I believe am seeing, is outperformance in the mining stocks. That, basically the entire sector is outperforming the broad stock market at this point. Last time we looked at this chart, I believe we were just poking up above this channel. Now we're into this gray bar. What I'm showing here in this gray bar, we've broken above this downtrending channel. In my opinion, the trend has already changed. Mining stocks are already outperforming the broad market. Let me say that again. The mining stocks are outperforming the broad market. NVIDIA, IBM, all those stocks that you might have in your portfolio that you think are so hot, the mining stocks are outperforming them sector-wide. So anyway, I'll revisit this chart and I'll spend the whole 10 minutes on this chart in another video. Anyway, significant progress, in my opinion, for the sector-wide movement relative to the broader market. We've got a little bit of space here, time and work in this gray bar, this gray zone, where we still have these prior machinations. We might see some resistance in this region. Above that, I'm showing in blue because in my mind, that's blue sky territory. And mining, not only will mining stocks outperform, they will dramatically outperform. Your Uber driver will be giving you recommendations for mining stocks. Hey, have you heard about X, Y, and Z mining stock? And speaking of mining stocks, here we are. This is the panel of mining stocks that I pay attention to. What I've been watching, let's just focus on Wheaton, WPM for now. MACD, so waiting to see over the last couple of weeks, pull back in MACD. Now we're starting to get what's catching my attention is that we're starting to get buy signals. So we're starting to get new buy signals in MACD, very close here in Hecla to having a new MACD buy signal. In Wheaton, I particularly like this accumulation distribution. So look at how that is just just keeps going up because investors are accumulating this stock. It's a terribly strong stock where it's at right now. If we look at, so this was yesterday and the day before, we got a gap higher, so a breakout from, I'll draw it. I'm pointing too much. So let me just draw. We had a consolidation in here, not there. We had a consolidation sideways for a little over a week. We got a gap up out of that area, big strong bar, and then the follow through the next day. That was yesterday. And so I was buying. I bought Wheaton yesterday, bought Wheaton pretty hard yesterday. My expectation is Wheaton's going to, it'll maybe take a little bit of work to get above 160, but it's going to be, it's going to do 160 and then blue sky. It's going to go throw on, look, we were at 120. What was that? That's back in January. Back in January. That's less than 6 weeks ago, folks. Wheaton was at 120, and here it is 157. So anyway, I bought Wheaton. I bought Wheaton yesterday. Bought Wheaton, bought Hecla, and I bought USAS yesterday. We've had earnings in a couple of the stocks. So Hecla had earnings, and we can see we got some nice buying volume come back in after earnings. Pan American Paz had earnings. We've got earnings coming up in USAS 2 weeks, I think. Some of the other companies, G-Roy. I didn't buy G-Roy yesterday. I'm covered up in G-Roy. Don't need any more G-Roy. So that's all I've got in this video. I just wanted to take a look at the metals, point out that we've got a buy signal, but horribly overbought in all time frames, both the metals and the mining stocks. Tread carefully, I guess. And on the big, as far as tread carefully on the big stocks, I haven't done it yet. I haven't put stops on my purchases from yesterday. I may put trailing stops, in particular on Wheaton. Big stock like this, we're not going to have. Unlikely that a whale is going to come in here and do a smash on Wheaton. It's too big, too big a cap. That doesn't come off the tongue very well. It's a large cap, mega cap stock. It's hard for the whales to manipulate a stock that large. That's all I got, folks. Talk to you soon.